Good morning, students. Today's class we say about the prolonged labor, otherwise known as dysfunctional labor. When the combined duration of the first and second stage is more than arbitrary time limit of 18 hours, it is called as prolonged labor. The labor is considered prolonged when the cervical dilatation rate is 1 centimeter per hour and descent of the presenting part is less than 1 centimeter per hour for a period of minimum 4 hours of observation. The prolongation may be due to protracted cervical dilatation in the first stage and or inadequate descent of the presenting part during the first or second stage of labor. The labor is considered prolonged when the cervical dilatation is less than 1 centimeter per hour and descent of the presenting part is less than 1 centimeter per hour for a period of minimum 4 hours observation. The prolonged labor is not synonymous with inefficient uterine contraction. Inefficient uterine contraction can be a cause of prolonged labor, but labor may be also prolonged due to the pelvic or fetal factors. Prolonged latent phase. Latent phase is the preparatory phase of the uterus and the cervix before the actual onset of the labor. The mean duration of the latent phase is about 8 hours in a primary and 4 hours in a multi. Whether the prolonged latent phase has got any adverse effect on the mother or fetus is not clearly known. A latent phase that exceeds 20 hours in a primary gravida or 14 hours in a multipara is abnormal. The cause may be include unripe cervix, malposition and malpresentation, cephalopelvic disproportion, premature rupture of membrane, induction of labor, and early onset of regional anesthesia. The management include expectant management is usually done unless there is any indication for the fetus or for the mother for expediting the delivery. Resting analgesia are usually given when augmentation is decided. Medical methods, that is oxytocin and prostaglandins, are preferred. Amniotomy is usually avoided. Prolonged latent phase is not an indication of cesarean delivery. Causes of prolonged labor. The first stage, fail to dilate in the cervix due to fault in power, that is abnormal uterine contractions, thus uterine inertia or incoordinate uterine action. Fault in passage, that is contracted pelvis, cervical dystocia, pelvic tumors or even a full bladder. Fault in passenger, that is malposition occipita posterior, and malpresentations like face and brow, congenital anomalies of fetus like hydrocephalus. Others lies injurious, that is early administration of sedatives and analgesics before the active labor begins. Second stage, sluggish or non-descent of the presenting part in the second stage is due to fault in power like uterine inertia, inability to bear down, regional epidural analgesia, constriction rim. Fault in passage, cephalopelvic disproportion, android pelvis, contracted pelvis, undue resistance of the pelvis, pelvic floor or perineum due to spasm or old scarring, soft tissue pelvic tumors. Fault in passenger, malposition, that is occipita posterior, malpresentation, big baby, congenital malformation of the baby. The diagnosis, the first stage of the labor is considered prolonged when the duration is more than 12 hours. The rate of cervical dilatation is less than 1 centimeter per hour in primary and less than 1.5 centimeter per hour in MLT. The action line is drawn 4 hours to the left right of the alert line in a partograph. An interval of 4 hours is allowed to diagnose delay in the active phase and then appropriate intervention is done. Labor is considered abnormal when the cervicograph crosses the alert line and falls in the zone 2, and intervention is required when it crosses the action line and falls in zone 3. Disorders of active phase. Active phase disorders may be divided into protraction phase and arrest disorders. The protractive active phase include when the rate of cervical dilatation is less than 1.2 cm per hour in primary and less than 1.5 cm per hour in MLT. A protracted active phase may be due to inadequate uterine contraction, cephalopelvic disproportion, malposition or malpresentation, or regional epidural analgesia. Arrest disorders. Arrest dilatation is defined as no cervical dilatation occurs after 2 hours in active phase of labor. It is commonly due to insufficient uterine contractions. No descent for a period of more than 2 hours is called arrest of descent. It is commonly due to CPD. The secondary arrest. Secondary arrest is defined when the active phase of labor, that is cervical dilatation, commences normally but stops or slows significantly for 2 hours or more prior to the full dilatation of cervix. It is most commonly due to malposition or CPD. Second stage. The mean duration of second stage is 15 minutes for nullipara and 20 minutes in multipara. Prolonged second stage is diagnosed if the duration exceeds 2 hours in nullipara and 1 hour in multipara when no regional anesthesia is used. 1 hour or more is permitted in both groups when rigid anesthesia is used during labor. Disorders of second stage, the protraction of the descent is defined when the descent of the presenting part of the station is less than 1 centimeter per hour in a nullipara and plus 2 centimeter hour in a multipara. Arrest of descent is diagnosed when no progress in the descent, that is not change in station, is observed over a period of 2 hours. It may be due to one or accompanied several factors, one or a combination of several underlying abnormalities like cephalopelvic disproportion, malposition, malpresentation, inadequate uterine contraction, and asynchronism. The dangers. The fetal dangers include fetal risk is increased due to combined effect of the hypoxia due to diminished uteroplacental circulation, especially after the rupture of membrane, intrauterine infections, intracranial stress or hemorrhagic following prolonged stay in the perineum, and the supermolding of the head. Increased operative delivery, prolonged second stage labor is often associated with the variable delayed acceleration. Scalp blood pH estimation show fetal acidosis. All these result in increased painful morbidity and mortality. Maternal, there is an increased evidence of distress, chorioamnionitis, postpartum hemorrhage, trauma to the genital tract concealed or reveals the cervical tear, rupture of uterus, increased operative delivery, vaginal instrument of difficult cesarean, puerperal sepsis, subinvolution. The sum effect of all these lead to increased maternal morbidity and also increased maternal death. Prevention. Antenatal or early intranatal detection of factors likely to produce prolonged labor. Then use of partograph, selective and judicious administration of judicious administration of augmentation of labor, change of position in labor other than supine to increase uterine contractions, emotional support, avoidance of dehydration in labor, and use of adequate analgesia for pain relief. Actual treatment, careful evaluation to be done to find out cause of prolonged labor, effect on the mother, effect on the fetus. In nulliparous patient, inadequate uterine activity is the most common cause of primary dysfunctional labor, whereas in multiparous patients, cephalopelvic disproportion due to malposition is the most common cause. Preliminaries include in acute labor ward, prolonged labor is unlikely to occur in modern obstetric practice, but cases of neglected prolonged labor with evidence of dehydration and ketoacidosis are admitted not infrequently to referral hospitals in developing countries. Corrections of ketoacidosis should be made urgently by rapid intravenous infusion of Ringo solution. Definitive treatment. If it is first stage delay, vaginal examination is done to verify fetal presentation, position, and station. Cervical pelvimetry is done if uterine activity is suboptimal, amniotomy and roxadoxin infusion is adequate. Effective pain relief be given intramuscular pethidine or by rigid anesthesia. For management of secondary arrest, especially in multipara, one should be very careful to use oxytocin. Cesarean section is done when vaginal delivery is unsafe in case of malpresentation, malposition, and big baby or CPD. Second stage delay, short period of expectant management is responsible provided with FHR is reassuring and vaginal delivery is imminent. Otherwise, appropriate assisted deliveries like vaginal forceps or vendos or abdominal cesarean section should be done. Difficult instrumental delivery should be avoided. There is an increased clinical skill in identification and classification of prolonged labor or dysfunctional labor in order to prevent the complications. Prolonged labor is the complicated conditions negatively affecting the obstetric outcome and women's experience. So careful management of intervention is crucial in order to keep the normal birth and avoid mismanagement. Thank you for listening.